Have you ever played a game and then once you finished it, you had a ton of thoughts, but you can't remember how you felt during the beginning of that game? I decided to write down my thoughts while playing the game in real time, so I'm writing this script as I play through each game. I'm curious of how my thoughts and feelings will change during my time with each game, so I'm going to write my thoughts down at the 1 hour mark, the 5 hour mark, the 10 hour mark, the 20 hour mark if need be, and then the end of each game I complete in this series. The game we're playing this time is the remake of the classic Super Mario RPG, a JRPG that people have always talked highly of, but I've never played, and I figured it was time to change that. Super Mario RPG has us control Mario and his band of friends as they attempt to take down the evil Smithy that has crashed into Bowser's fortress and is now causing problems. I don't have many thoughts going into this one, and I don't really know too much about the game at all, so I wonder how this one will go for me. While writing down my thoughts and talking about this game, it's possible there will be spoilers, so if you haven't played this one yet and don't want anything spoiled, I would consider coming back to this video once you played the game. This is my spoiler warning, just in case though. If you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. If you've also played this game, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I'm excited to start playing, so I'll check back in once I hit the 1 hour mark. I've reached the 1 hour mark, and honestly, not a whole lot has taken place in this game. We get a rather normal Mario opening with Bowser kidnapping Peach, then Mario chases him down to his castle. We get our first battles here against some Koopa Troopas, but they're one hit because it's the tutorial for the game. If you don't know, Super Mario RPG has a turn-based battle system where if you hit the A button at the right time while performing an attack, we get a bonus, like a little extra damage, or we'll get damage to the enemies that are around them. As mentioned before, it will let us do more damage, also increase our multiplier, which gives us buffs, and lets us fill up this meter in the bottom left of the screen. That meter is called the action command meter, and once that meter gets full, we can call in Toad and he'll either attack the enemies we're facing for massive damage, or we get buffs like increased in our attack or restoring our health. In battle, we can use special moves. These are done in the same way, but require flower power to perform them. Depending on the enemy, these can do more damage, and sometimes they even hit multiple enemies at once. Then in traditional JRPG gameplay, we can defend, use items, and attempt to run away. The last thing I should mention about battle is that we can time when an enemy attacks us with A and cause the attack to do no damage or less damage, which seems very helpful in this game, considering our health is pretty low. Anyways, once we take down Bowser, we jump up to the top of his castle to save Peach, and then a giant sword comes down and crashes into the castle. This shoots Mario, Bowser, and Peach in different directions across the map. Mario ends up back in his home. Toad arrives to pick up Peach for that day, but we have to tell him that she got kidnapped and taken to Bowser's castle. Toad demands we go back to Bowser's castle and save her, but when we get there, the giant sword talks to us and then destroys the bridge leading inside. Since we can't do anything, we need to head to Mushroom Kingdom, but we have to make our way through Mushroom Way first, which is the first dungeon of the game and nothing really challenging yet. I did find an item called the Flower tab that will permanently increase our flower points for using special attacks, so that's very helpful. And these seem like they will be extremely important for the future of this game. Also, after beating a mini-boss, we get a brand new weapon, which we can equip. And up to this point, I didn't even know we had a start screen. This will let us adjust equipment and use items. I've leveled up at this point, and leveling up in this game seems to take a while. But when we do, we automatically get stronger, and then we can pick an extra level up in a specific category like physical, HP, or magic. So we can change our build to how we see fit in the future. After making our way to Mushroom Kingdom, the Chancellor asks us to save the princess, and then we can head out on our own. Once outside of the castle, we get a cutscene of our first party member that we can have in battle with us. I won't be going too much into the story after this bit here because I don't want to spoil anything major, but his name is Mallow and he tells us that he's a frog, but he can't jump. A mean crocodile has stolen his coin and he needs our help getting it back. Now we can equip Mallow and level him up and upgrade him as we see fit. The interesting thing I found is that our party shares the whole flower power amount instead of every character having their own. I'm not sure why that was the choice here, but I sort of like it because it prevents you from spamming special attacks with every character. Anyways, that got us to the 1 hour mark in the game, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I had never played Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, so this is my first time playing through this, and wow does this look beautiful on the Switch. I think it's going to take me a bit to get used to the timing and attack and defense and battle, but once I get it down, I don't think it's going to be too bad. I left out a bunch of stuff after meeting Mallow, and it could spoil stuff for people that haven't played this yet, but after he joined my party, I played another like 15 minutes with him in battle, and I really like that he's more of a support character, and Mario is the attacker. I really wonder what other characters join us in this game. I hope that they're all amazing like the Paper Mario series. Anyways, that was my 1 hour of gameplay, and I'll check back in at the 5 hours to see how I'm feeling then. After 5 hours, we're what I would assume to be halfway through the game. My party is now between the levels of 10 and 12, and we added 2 stars out of the 7 we need to collect for the main story. We increased our party size now and have a total of 4 characters that we can use in battle, but we can only use 3 at a time, and Mario has to always be in the lineup. Gino joined our team first, and I love the origin of how this character comes to be. It's a simple cutscene to explain it, and then Gino fills in the gaps later when we catch up with him. Very cool character design and a fun finger gun attack that's extremely easy to time. I get why people always talk about this character now. I'm assuming he gets even more personality as the game moves forward. Then we added Bowser after that, which I expected since we've seen him a bunch of times leading up to that point of him joining us. He's slow but can hit hard and take a bunch of damage, so a good tank-like character for the team. We can swap our party around however we like besides Mario, and now that we have at least 3 characters, we can use our new ability, the triple move attack. This works by filling up our gauge from timing attacks and defending correctly. Once it reaches 100%, we can attack using this ability. When we activate it, it gives us a cutscene of everyone in our party working together to attack, causing massive damage as well. The move changes though depending on who's in the party, but so far the couple I've seen all look really good. We've made our way through a bunch of the map now. We're moving through different themes like any normal Mario game, and I even found the Yoster Island where we can race Yoshis to earn cookies. I guess we can use these cookies to have Yoshi help us in battle, but I've yet to use them. The Yoshi racing is done with a rhythm-based minigame, and I don't really like it, but it's a cool idea. We honestly haven't got much more in the way of story besides what Gina tells us when we meet him. The rest has been a chase to save Peach still. And I think this might be the weakness I see in this game. The gameplay is fun, and I like the level designs and random mini-games, but the story just hasn't dragged me in yet. Not that I was expecting this crazy over-the-top story from Mario, but with Square Enix's help, I figured it would have been a bit better. I don't know, maybe we start to get more a bit later or something. The last things to mention are minor things, but just a couple quick thoughts that I had. Why are there so many frog coins when the rewards don't seem very good for cashing them in? Why would anyone use the Yoshi double or nothing bet system when most enemies only give like 4 experience anyways? Is 8 really gonna make that much of a difference? Is it worth getting 0 if you mess it up? And lastly, when trying to find these hidden chests with the item that alerts you, why doesn't it get louder when I'm closer to it? This would prevent me from jumping around for 5 minutes like an idiot trying to find it. I like the game still, but I'm worried that if the story doesn't get better, then the gameplay is going to have to do some heavy lifting on the back half of the game. I don't know, I guess I'll see once we get further. I'm going to go to the 10-hour mark and then come back, and I'll see how I'm feeling about it then. After 10 hours, this game still feels very much the same as before. The story is still lackluster, but I've reached a part that could be a big reveal and might change my opinion on the matter. But outside of that, it's still moving from region to region, collecting stars and helping other characters out. Speaking of stars, I now have 5 of the 7 we need to complete the game, and I got our last playable character, Peach. This is our first character that doesn't hit as hard, but is an amazing healer. I don't really need the healing yet, but it does help to have it around, just in case something in battle goes really poorly for me. My party of characters have reached level 20 or 21 now, and I feel pretty strong against most enemies. I have seen people talk about this game having some challenging enemies, but maybe the remake toned them down because I haven't had a close fight since the beginning of the game when I was doing 5 damage and I had like 10 health. There isn't much new in the way of mechanics or anything, so I really only have one more thing to say. The side quests in this game are stupid. Most of them are easy and they don't take much more than looking around, talking to a character, or solving a puzzle. But then you get like an insane one, like jump on an enemy's head 100 times during battle to get an item. Do you know how long that would take to complete? And then if you mess up at like 90, you have to start over again. The timing is weird sometimes too, so you might have good timing, but the game might not register it, or maybe my controller is messed up. But side quests like this seem so unnecessary. and it feels kinda out of place when everything else in this game is so easy. I don't mind doing something 10 times or even 20, but 100 times is just way too much, and I will never do that. I'll end my rant there and say that the gameplay is still doing enough to keep me invested, but this story is still somewhat weak in my opinion. I don't think there's much more to this game, so I'll come back one more time when I complete the game and give my final thoughts on the game and a little review, so I'll check back in then. I've completed Super Mario RPG in just over 14 hours of in-game time. This feels short, but I've done mostly everything the game has to offer. I even did a bit of the post-game stuff after, but I just didn't have any desire to go through all of it. I think the ending was pretty good for this game, but overall, I feel like this story just stayed basic throughout the whole game. It's fine for the length of this game, but I just wanted a little more from it. We didn't get anything new mechanic-wise, but we continued to level up our characters and got better weapons and armor. I think I even got some of the best armor and weapons, but I'm not too sure. I finished the game at around level 28 for all my characters, and I was able to beat this secret mega boss, but just its normal form and not the second fight with them. I could go back and do that, but I don't think I'm going to. I noticed later in the game that Peach ended up becoming a large part of my team. Being able to heal and get rid of statuses on my other party members was so important at the end of the game. I was using Mario, of course, Geno and Peach, and then I would add in Mallow when something was strong against physical attacks. The final dungeon was okay, but I think going through Bowser's Castle was way better. They had different paths for trivia, puzzle, and even battle rush sections. Those were super fun. This is a weird one for me because I don't have too much to say about the game. It's a good turn-based JRPG, but nothing about it blew me away. I know a lot of people really like this game and think it's one of the best games in the genre, but I just didn't feel the same way about it. So if I had to give it a rating from 1 to 10, I think this would be a 7 for me. The gameplay is pretty enjoyable, the story is fine but could have been better, and sometimes it feels like there's just way too many encounters. But I still had a good time playing it, and I'm glad that I actually got around to it. I'm happy that it was a shorter JRPG because 40 hours of this would have been such a pain, I think. Well, that's been my thoughts throughout my playthrough of Super Mario RPG Remake. I hope that you enjoyed this video and just how my thoughts of the game changed over the span of me playing it. I'd love to know your thoughts about this one because I think a lot of people might disagree with me on this. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments that you like this video and what other JRPGs you would want me to check out. Remember to like this video because it helps out my channel. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button for more JRPG content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.